Okay, hello everyone. Thank you all for joining us. Today, I leave it up to you. You want to talk about real Buddhist stuff, or you want to gossip? Because it seems like every Sunday morning we tend to do more gossiping than talking Dharma. I noticed that. So I leave it up to you now today as well. Would you like to gossip? Me to gossip with you? Or you'd rather I talk about like something like Hinayana or Theravada? Good. Thank you. Huh? Your choice. Let's take a survey. Kamsahamnida. Huh? Anyone like to gossip? That's one. Ooh. How about real Dharma? 2, okay. Last call. 3, okay. 3 people prefer to gossip. Yes? Huh? The rest of you? Real Dharma? That's real Dharma for 1, okay? Sorry. 3 to 1. There's something about Southern Californians, they prefer to gossip instead of learning a Dharma. Well, because I just came back from Northern California, so maybe I'd like to talk to you about what happens up there, if you're interested. First of all, what happened to the Northern California? They all disappeared. Just when we were about to gossip about them, they all disappeared. Too serious, these people. So I went up there because went up there and had lunch with Venerable Xianchu, the old abbot, the old monk. And I noticed he gained some weight after just a couple of weeks, 2, 3 weeks. I said, no, we monks cannot be too fat. It's not a good thing. Not good for our image as true cultivators. You're not supposed to gain too much weight. So anyway, so I looked closer and said, oh my God, you know what happened? He improved. These Northern Californians, they're scary. They continue to improve and improve and improve. So like he barely left here, like 3 weeks ago maybe. How long ago? 2, 3 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago, right? 2 or 3 weeks ago. I went up there, he gained weight. These people feed him like feeding cattle or something. And then he improved. How is it possible? So I think it's proven now that you can eat and gain weight and improve at the same time. I always thought that you must lose weight, improving you need to shed. You can't improve unless you shed, okay? But apparently, something strange happened, so improved. And it's weird because only 3 years ago, I looked at him dying. Okay, I noticed he was dying. So I said, okay, you die. And then last year, something changed because we opened 2 new branch temples at the same time. So I couldn't afford to lose manpower. So I said, you don't want to die, do you? So I had to fix his heart problems for him. So he lived on. It happened because what happened is last year, I needed someone to take over. I needed someone to go to Korea, to take over Korea, look after it for me, and then I made a commitment to San Jose as well. So I needed someone to go to San Jose. So I asked him, would you like to move to San Jose? And when I asked him, he was actually dying. He was very, very weak. Couldn't even walk around. One circle like this is very difficult for him. So I asked him, would you like to go? Expect him to say no. He said, I expect him to say, please let me die in peace. Can't you tell? And so, but he said, no, if you want me to go, I go. So that's what happened. So since he wanted to go, and I needed someone up there, so I had to help him fix his heart. Okay, now it's the kidneys. Oh, good Lord. So anyway, so my point here is that you want to die, no one is going to stop you. So it's interesting. The old monk was a soldier in Vietnam, so he's used to taking orders. That's funny thing, but that's what saved him. So basically, he said, "You want me to go? I go. Just tell me when to go." So okay, then you go as soon as possible. YouTube has a question.
Emily asks, Master talked about a flower offering makes one pretty the next life. So what about when we offer a bunch of snacks and sweets instead?
Makes you fat next life. Next. I don't know. I'm only interested in flowers. This girl is weird. Can you just process the flower and then the snacks, when I get better educated, know more, I'll tell you. Right now, I don't know. I feel probably gain a lot of weight like the old monk. He probably offered some snacks in the past. That's why his cheeks are like this nowadays. For the Asian Buddhists, it's a good sign that you are, Vietnamese called Phát tướng, Pha Xiang, right? You have that thing in Chinese or not? Korean? Pha Xiang, meaning you gain in girth here and increase in weight. So it's a good sign that you're successful and you're happy and so forth, and your wife takes good care of you. Anyway, so he looked happy too. So it's kind of nice. In Buddhism, doesn't matter how old you are, okay, and you're as young as your heart feels. So, so we don't retire, by the way. Okay. Anyway, that's a gossip. Any questions? YouTube, go ahead.
Tiango asks, Master, you said when we do repentance with the audio, it has the same effect. So does this mean if we do repentance with a recording that has a bodhisattva, we eradicate like the bodhisattva?
Eradicate the bodhisattva? Is it possible to eradicate bodhisattvas? I don't know we can eradicate bodhisattvas, whatever it means. Bodhisattvas are indestructible. You can't eradicate them. Okay? Eradicate bodhisattvas? Eradicate demons, yeah, but you can't eradicate bodhisattvas. That's not possible. Bodhisattvas are indestructible. Period. Okay? Only bodhisattvas can hurt each other. We can't hurt them. All right. Another YouTube question. You see, all this gossiping is working. Yes.
Daniel asks, is chanting the Rosary similar to mantras?
Chanting rosaries? Is he referring to his Catholic thing or what? Huh? Is that what? Chanting rosaries? Is there such a thing in Buddhism? Well, if it's a Catholic thing, go ask your father. But for us, chanting rosaries is same as reciting mantras. No, they're not. They're different things. Rosary is rosaries. Mantras are mantras. Okay, mantras. Rosaries, you can use the rosaries. The way we use in Buddhism, rosaries is to keep track of keep the count, or remind us to recite. But we can use rosaries to recite anything. Mantras, sutras, so forth. Yes, you too.
Tiango has a clarification of the previous question. The question was if doing a repentance with a recording that has a bodhisattva will eradicate all of our karma like the bodhisattva does.
Yes, you are when you play the recording. It depends on which recording, of course. When you play the good recordings, it can help you increase the effectiveness of the repentance, meaning will help eradicate more of your karmic retributions, depending on what recording. Is it clear? I mean, not all recordings are the same, right? So you have to choose the recordings carefully. Anything else? Okay, go ahead, you two.
Daniel asks, what is the difference between a mantra and a sutra?
A mantra is a lot shorter than sutras. Usually, as a rule of thumb, except for the Shranga mantra, which is longer than most sutras. No, I'm sorry, I'm kidding. No. Mantras are basically secret words in Buddhism. Those are secret words, secret incantations that they are secret words from the Buddhas, secret messages from the Buddhas, passwords and all those things. So it's part of the tantric school, tantric teachings that Shakyamuni Buddha brought to our world. So that's the specific functions of chanting sutras is different from chanting mantras. You chant sutras primarily to open your wisdom. Okay, it has many good effects, but the primary function of chanting sutras is open your wisdom. Secondary function is to help you enter samadhi. Sutras are very, very powerful. You don't chant it, you read it. It really has good effects on your psyche, on your mind. It calms you down, okay, and helps you. Like when you are worried, when you are anxious, and you're stuck, you have the blues, and so forth. You just read sutras or chant the sutras. This is why in Buddhism the Heart Sutra is very popular, because it's short, it's very powerful, and it opens your wisdom. So you chant the sutra would help undo a lot of the bad states of minds that people have. Okay? You too, go ahead.
Heidi asks, when I recite the Buddha's name using the beads, am I attached to the beads?
No, it's a good practice. Don't worry about that. It's an aiding practice to use beads when you recite the Buddha's name. It's a very good practice. I happen to feel that it kind of gives away the fact you're reciting Buddha's name. That's the weakness with the beads, is that you hold the beads and people can tell you're practicing, you're doing something. Okay, so that's the knock I have on that. But I like it. On the other hand, the fact that you touch a beat and you go like this, it's a reminder, physically reminder to your mind that you should be reciting. So it's very, very powerful form of practice. I highly recommend it, by the way. Okay. And let me finish I forgot to mention, I explained about sutras and also how about mantras. Mantras, I don't know, because you see, you have to understand that my teacher, I learned Buddhism from two teachers, Vietnamese teachers and Chinese teacher. So most of my Buddhist knowledge, my foundation comes from the Chinese. And even with that, I never really learned it directly from my teacher at all, Master YongHua at all. He taught me only a few times before he died. I can remember 3 times. I could listen to his voice, okay, being in the same room and so forth. That's 3 times when he was alive, and then a few more times after he died. That's it. So my information is very, very limited. Be cognizant of that. So my knowledge is very, very limited. Okay, as compared to his other disciples who've been with him for years, and who were able to, come to him or call him or connect with him, but ask questions, get answers. I never got a direct answer from my teacher. I never was able to ask him a question that I had during my practice. Never. So my information is very limited. What I share with you is from experience. So my experience was very limited. I only have 25 years experience. In Buddhism, that's nothing. So basically, I'm an ignoramus. Is there such a word in English? Ignoramus is French, meaning I'm an idiot. Okay, an ignorant guy. But from what I understand, is that the way we use mantras is to train our people. I train my students using mantras to develop skills, to develop, if you will, weaponry to do the work. Just like countries need to use armed forces, which need to equip themselves with weapons to defend the country, to defend their territories, and so forth. So mantras to me are the means that I use to train my students to develop weaponry to do their work. Okay, so for example, the recent question on the internet from Vietnamese people. We have an outreach program for them right now via my disciples, Vietnamese disciples, and they said, I heard you transmitting for 2 hands and eyes, and can I receive it? And I said, my answer, because there's going to be more questions like this, and you can help me answer them. You left-home people, that right now I only transmit hands and eyes, our hands and eyes in the U.S. and in Korea. Okay, nowhere else. And only to our disciples, only to help them practice. Okay, and they're not supposed to use it. Because these hands and eyes here are, number one, to help them get trained and develop samadhi, and especially take care of themselves. Okay? That's the first benefit they get immediately. Number 2, they'll plant the seeds for the big enlightenment. That's my interest. I want you to become enlightened. The sooner the better. Okay? So whether it's here or whether you go to the Pureland, I don't care. But become enlightened. So the 40 hands and eyes is a very, very precious gift, if you will enable you to reach the big kahunas. Okay? Whether you're going to go to the Pureland, next life or in future lives, your practice of 40 hands and eyes will help you plant the seeds for you to become enlightened, not just low level, high level as well. So that's why that's why we quietly teach it to our students to help them. So before my teacher told me to transmit it to my disciples, and so I didn't know what to do, so I experimented. So I was lax and lenient. But from now on, no, we don't transmit it to outsiders, number one. Number two, meaning only to my disciples, because it's for my disciples. I'm here, it's for helping them. And number two, those who did not receive transmission, who received transmission from the other places, are now allowed to practice with us. Our practice is different from theirs. Okay, so from now on, no longer is feasible to practice with us unless you receive transmission from me. I don't care who you are. Okay, so that's so the answer to the question from Vietnam is that no, we can't transmit it to you. We won't transmit it to you, and we only transmit it to specific people to help them, to our people only. Period. Okay. But thank you for asking. See, spies all over. I'm a good spy, she says. So anyway, so give her the Vietnamese translation. I want to make sure she hears everything all the bad things I talk about her. And so what happened is, she has it already? Oh, good Lord. And so continuing with the gossip, so I had lunch with the old monk yesterday, and he said, so I said, I was saying, someone improved again, and he really struggled for a long time. It's funny just to watch him squirm. Anyway, so I said, I'm teaching you, I'm telling you those things in order for you to learn to close your eyes and use your spiritual eye to see why I said so you can recognize them in the future, okay, yourselves. So the old monk says, yeah, but I looked at the kimchi nun, and I think she's improved. I said, really? You can tell? I said, yeah. He said, I told her. The kimchi girl. So I said, very good, you're right. Yeah, she improved. So on the way back, I asked kimchi girl, I said, the old monk said you improved. You agree? She said, yeah. Kimchi girl, she's very talkative. You asked her 10 questions, you give you one-liners as answers. And so I said, at the risk of making a fool of myself, I told myself, I said, can you tell there's a difference? She says, yeah. Go on. He said, Jung Sunim told me a dream. He had a dream. So he said, what kind of dream? He dreamt that Xian Tong, our kitchen manager, gave him some Sangha slippers. She has Sangha sleepers. Okay, Sangha shoes. I said, that's it? He said, yeah. Isn't it clear to you? These Koreans are weird. It's so clear to them and not to us. So anyway, so I said, oh, so that's how you got the message that you improve. He said, yeah. And I said, anything else? It's like pulling teeth with this girl. And so she says, yeah, my head feels more clearer. That's Korean English for you. My head feels more clearer. So very good. So anyway, so that's a gossip. So Kimchi girl has improved as well. So, and Chung Yin too, of course, because he in the same dream. He got slippers too. So we Southern Californians can improve too, not just the Northern Californians, you know. Yeah. Yes, you too.
Daniel asks, when I go to some other Buddhist temples, I see things like blood and ghosts. Why don't I see these things in your temple?
We're working on it. I promise you in the future you see blood and goats as well, and ghosts and goats and horses. All right? YouTube next.
Emily asks, I want to double check. Is the Heart Sutra the same as the Heart of Prajna Paramita Sutra?
Yes, it is. Memorize it. It's a very good sutra. Open your wisdom. Memorize it. This is Master YongHua taught his disciples is Shariputra, number one in wisdom, as Arhat disciples of Shakyamuni Buddha. He was number one in wisdom because in the past he practiced reciting the Heart Sutra and the 10 small mantras. I highly recommend it too. Okay, or is it either? Taiwanese English is I recommend it either. Okay, Emily should memorize the heart mantra and the 10 small mantras and recite it every day. Open her wisdom. All right. So anyway, it dawned on me that people are improving because there's a need for that. Okay, and so pretty soon we'll be able to send a couple people back to Korea. So they better stop right now, because if they continue, these 2 Koreans who are at this stage here, if they go back to Korea, they should be doing okay. I'm very blunt about these things because they can fit in. But once they continue beyond this level, the current levels, when they go back, they become probably not welcome anymore. They're different. Okay, so these 2 should think about it if they wish to be accepted by their colleagues back there. They should stop. Okay. If they continue, they'll feel very lonely, like I do. No one likes me. Okay. So think about that. But these continued improvement of all of you enables us to expand and to do more work. We need manpower. So in my budget, I'm enlarging my training budget to include 4 more sanghas, okay? Because we are basically have 1 branch in Korea already. I think I hope to be able to open another branch soon. So I think within a year or 2, I should be able to send some of the Korean Sunims back there to help assist at those branch offices, the branch temples. And these need to be at the level I'm no longer afraid they get corrupted. Okay, and then I send you out. I'm sharing this with you because for the important reason that I don't know what happens at the other temples, but in our temples, I can see clearly the pattern where people improve because there's a need for them to improve. You live longer because there's a need for you to live longer. Okay? Our Buddhism is very practical, very goal-oriented, if you will. Okay? You practice Mahayana, Pureland, to go to the Pureland. What are you waiting for? Don't miss this boat again. You practice Chan in order to become enlightened. What are you waiting for? So that's what we do. Okay? Practice mantras in order to beat up on the ghosts when there's a need for it. But don't use it. Okay? Use it only when you're ordered to use it. Don't use it for yourself because it's very dangerous. Use for yourself, you'll disobey my directives. When you get in trouble, don't come to me. I'm not going to help you. Okay? So, I'm praying to God that maybe that we'll open another branch temple within a year or 2, hopefully in Korea, hopefully in a big city. I like big cities. But I like to have another branch temple there. Okay. These people will be ready by then to pitch in. We don't need to shelter them anymore. Okay? Questions? Okay? Because when that happens, I'll be traveling a lot. Now you have the old monk covering for me and so forth. That's why. You now understand why he has to improve. Does it make sense now? Things happen for a reason. Suppose I have all these branch temples. I go to one place and do a 4-chi chanting there. Is there one coming up right here in Los Angeles, right? So I go there and do one. So now what happens to the other branch temples? Okay. So that's why we need people to step up and cover my back, take care of you. Right? Okay. So that's a gossip for today. So the spies can go back and tell the masters that, that wild and crazy guy is gonna expand some more. And he's not afraid to do that. So maybe another time we talk about Hinayana and Theravada. This is something that came up recently. Okay? All right, we stop here today. Take a 10-minute break and come back for a lunch offering. Thank you all.